How's it going, gang? It's the final render here, and welcome to another exciting Fallout 76 camp building video. Boy, it's an exciting time to be a Fallout 76 player, isn't it? Just tomorrow, at the time of recording this video, we have got Update 22 launching, which brings one Wasteland, a huge rebalance of the game's difficulty. We've got a new season of content, which is really cool, and also, we have got daily ops. It's really, really cool, and I think you guys are going to love that. So let's get a camp building before we start doing a deep dive of all this new content. And also, guys, on Monday, the 21st, it is my birthday, and me and Psykergirl are going to be doing an all-day live stream of us playing Fallout 4. So make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you can tune into the birthday live stream. So for today's camp build video, we have come to one of my favourite locations, the Cranberry Bog. The Cranberry Bog is a really nice location, lots of high-level enemies and lots of cool stuff to do. And we've got a cool spot right by the Creekside Sundew Grove. We have come here for you can easily pick cranberries from these sundew groves, and you can get lots of cranberry relish, which helps boost your XP. We do have a lot of trouble with the local neighbors. They do seem to not like me building here. We do have a lot of trouble with them, but it's a location that I love, so let's go. Starting with our foundations, we're going to go out and lay down quite a long foundation. We're going to go and have a 6 foundation long base, and then we're going to be building 5 rooms out of this foundation. We're going to have a main foyer and gift room, and then we're going to have 4 individual rooms which will have different themes for our museum. And as you can see with the foundations built, this actually does take up quite a bit of space, but when it's actually divided up into little rooms, it feels even bigger. You don't actually have to build massive for your camp to feel big, if that makes sense. Now, we're going to be using a lot of budget here because I'm going to be using double-sided wallpaper for the entire build, which means essentially using twice as many walls as you would normally, but actually gives you a much better result. I'm really hoping Bethesda do come out with double-sided walls at some point so we can just put wallpaper on each wall without actually having to use twice as much budget. We're going to put the wallpaper on now, and we've got some really nice wallpaper here. We've got some stone wallpaper for the main hallway and also some more colourful red stuff for our gift shop area. Every museum needs a gift shop, right? So we're definitely going to throw that in. And we're also going to have a nice roof design. We're going to have very tall ceilings in here because it's a museum. It needs to feel open and airy. And now I've seen a little bit of a tradition in 76 building recently to where people have been using these metal posts to kind of act like little window frames in a way, and they look really, really good. There is a trick to getting this many next to each other, and that is that you actually need to place your posts down onto upper floor sections, and if you do that, you snap them to those upper floor sections, you can get maybe 4 times as many posts as you normally would than if you snap them to, say, a regular foundation. It's a really nice way to get that kind of modern, industrialized look that people have been raving on about over the last few years, and I think it looks really good. Now, I did toy with this idea of having a really large triangular tower at the back of the museum. The idea being that when you looked at it from the front, you had this really nice tower at the back. And as you can see, when you look at it dead on, it does look quite nice. However, it takes up a huge amount of budget, and it only works if you look at it directly head on. And lots of players probably wouldn't necessarily do that. So in the end, we scrapped that tower. But here is our main building kind of done. It's a simple brick building, but there is a lot of trickery in here in order to get everything to work. In particular, later on, we have to use a lot of flamethrower traps in order to remove the half walls at the top so we can wallpaper both sides. You can't just typically stack half walls next to each other. It's very tricky, but it is possible to do if you know what you're doing. And I did actually lose some footage of me decorating the main foyer, I'm afraid, but here we go. Here we got a really nice waiting area where we've actually got 2 sofas glitched into each other to make a big corner sofa. That's really nice. And we have a really nice gift shop area. We've got the pig donut robot over there selling toys, and we have got lots of toys and figurines on display. I've done other videos on how I show how you can stack things onto shelves using the earth glitch, but it's easy to do. And now for our first themed room of the museum, we're going to have a fine art museum. This is actually quite a nice, easy room to make. We've got like a nice industrialized concrete wall and a very nice wooden tiled floor. And with this kind of look, you can just put up some paintings on the wall, and as long as they're evenly spaced, you can make something that looks like a very, very classy contemporary art gallery. And I think it's really, really snazzy. We've got some statues in here, we've got paintings in here, and overall, the entire feel of the place feels like a genuine art museum. Having the nice rays of sunlight come in through the window because we've got those posts there rather than a main window, and having all of the art kind of positioned evenly on the walls, which are very blank and simple themselves, means we actually have something that genuinely looks like an art museum. And I think it looks really, really good. The kind of color tone we have got here definitely makes it feel like a believable place. And also, you've got a good variety of art. You've got fine art, you've got portrait, you've got sculpture, and everything just kind of builds this realistic museum that I definitely think people, when they turn up, do take a look at the art and admire it. It's very cool. Next up, we're going to have a Civil War section, because something really cool about Fallout 76 is they have a lot of US Civil War stuff that you can play with. We're talking weapons, we are talking cool uniforms, we're talking lots and lots of cool artifacts from a time that we can put on display. We're going to have lots of cool weaponry. We're going to have Gatling guns, and we're going to have broadsiders to represent cannons. We have also got black powder pistols, blunderbusses, black powder rifles, in a really nice wooden interior to make the place feel like kind of log cabin. And overall, I think it's really, really nice. We do actually have some cool things extra, like we do have the Forager inside a Civil War outfit to kind of act like a guide. I think that's fun, because, you know, he's probably from that time after all. And we've got lots of memorabilia on display that is old. We've got some really cool things that kind of look like soldiers' bedrolls and stuff like that. And once you actually get the finished look, it's really, really nice. It kind of feels like a warm log cabin, which is nice in its own right, but also it feels like a very old wooden fortress or something like that. So you've got lots of cool weapons on display. The broadside and the Gatling guns are literally from that time, just with a little bit of a modern twist. So I think that fits in really well. And lots of cool things that are from the era, I think really, really matches this place well. And having a Civil War thing, I think is just a very cool thing. It's very easy to just go for things like, you know, science and stuff. But nah, we need to remember our past and heritage. And I love it. Next up, we're going to go for something a bit more Fallouty, and we're going to have a Cryptid Room. Cryptids are one of the coolest things inside Fallout 76. These bizarre monsters twisted by radiation and evolution over thousands of years. I think it's one of the coolest things about 76, and we got lots of cool things to play with. Whether it was created by evolution or created by FEV, or sometimes just created by radiation, we've got lots of cryptids to play with, and I think it's going to be good. We've got loads and loads of taxidermied cryptids that we can put onto the wall to scare the children, and we've got some really nice ways to play with lighting in here. We've gone for a very dark room, so it's a bit spooky, a bit scary, but we've also got just a general nice tone to the place. Something which I really like about this section is that whilst it does feel like a horror section in a way, you might find that in certain museums, you know, where they kind of have like a more fun area. And I think this would be one of those areas with all the spook turned up to 11. This is a really cool room that I think really shows off some of the cool cryptid stuff we have in Fallout 76. We've got dozens of taxidermied animals. We've got displays with Wendigo teeth, Wendigo Colossus sacks. We've got Earl Williams there looking like a bit of a freak. We've got cursed weaponry. Everything to make your blood chill is in this room, and I think it would be a cool thing in a museum. And not only that, but it's also very lore friendly because, of course, not only in Fallout, but in real life, there is a Mothman museum inside West Virginia. So there is a market for kind of cryptid themed museums, and we have got lots of cool things on display. And a lot of them are interactable and stuff as well, so it would be great for kids and stuff, as long as they're brave enough to go in. But overall, I like the Cryptid Room as a whole. And now, as a fun thing, I thought, wouldn't it be cool to have like a time capsule? We're going to have a recreation of a pre-war house, which I think would be a cool thing in this world, Joe, because no one's really seen them. Here we got a cool trick to where you can put a cooking stove inside a doorway and then replace that doorway with a wall. That's fun, isn't it? But overall, we're going to have a nice living room and kitchen room so that people can go in, admire all the pre-war stuff, all the pre-war furniture, all the pre-war items on the display shelves, and kind of give a feeling of what the world was like before the bombs. Because technically speaking, to these guys, looking at something like this would be like us looking back at a 1980s room, for example, with like very old like computers in there and like gramophones and stuff. Well, maybe not gramophones, but you know what I'm saying. Old stuff. And I've also noticed a really cool tradition recently in the 76 building community to where people are using benches to make really cool shelving units. And look at this. It looks really, really nice to have all these cool benches to act like little shelves that we can put lots of decorations on, you know, kind of leveled decoration. I think it's really pretty and it's very easy to do without actually taking a much budget. So I really like that fact. I think it's a really cool part of this beautiful pre-war home. You'll have to forgive the bullet holes on the wall because the Scorch don't actually like me building here too much, but this is what we've got. We've got a really nice living room area with a TV and some nice decorations, and we've got a dining room and a kitchen area. All the decoration here is pre-war, or at least looks clean, and I think it works really, really well. We've got these Thanksgiving Day display cases showing off some of the cool ingredients and tools you would use in the kitchen. I say tools, utensils. And we got lots of nice decorations in the dining room area as well. And overall, this is quite a nice home, I think. It definitely feels like something that you would actually have in a museum, to have a small little capsule of an older home. I know those are popular things in museums, and I think we've done a good one. And here is our museum, done and open for the public. We have got a really nice museum here that doesn't look like much from the outside, but on the inside, it's full of learning marvels that you'll definitely take the family to see. We have got some really cool statues, and we've got some really cool interactable objects, and we've just got a nice flavor to it. I really like the gift shop in particular. That definitely feels like a functioning gift shop, and the main foyer as a whole looks really good. We've got the really cool Season 1 board on the wall there, and of course, which is all over now. And we've got a really nice waiting area with a corner seat, which I love. We got really tall ceilings with wallpaper on each side. That takes a lot of budget and a lot of effort to do that. And here we have another look at our art museum. When the sunlight is coming in from this angle, it looks really, really nice. I can definitely see people coming in here and actually paying more close attention to the art than you normally would. I think it looks really, really good, especially when it's arranged really nice and neatly. The Civil War section, I think, has got some really cool items on display, and it really does go to show just how much kind of pre-war stuff that we actually have in the game, and all this Civil War stuff I think is very, very cool. My only regret with this kind of stuff is that I wish the Civil War old stuff was more powerful to use in game. That would definitely be cool if like blunderbuss pistols were much, much better. But besides that, in terms of camp design, this is really, really nice. We've also got a weapon bench in here because I feel as if that's a bit appropriate. And just a nice display of everything in here. It also feels just like a nice hunting grounds cabin, which I love. The Cryptid Room, I think, is very, very daring. You definitely don't want to bring the kids in here unless they're very, very brave. But I think it's a nice fun room with lots of cool interactivity. And it kind of shows all the cool monsters. There's more monsters and enemies in this game than there are in any other Fallout game. And this room definitely kind of highlights how cool some of these monsters have been designed. The art direction of the game, I think, is really, really special. Not to mention that it is coming up to Halloween, so people might see this, kind of get a bit inspired to make their own kind of spooky rooms and stuff in the future. I certainly hope so. And my favourite section, it's probably the pre-war section. Just a really nice living room. It feels like a place I personally would like to be. Shame it doesn't have a gaming computer or anything in there, but overall, it works really well. It definitely feels like something you'd have in a museum because it's quite small and dense and packed together, but it's got lots of cool stuff, and it's generally just a nice place to sit down and talk to your friends in your squad before you go and do a raid or something like that, you know? I think it's a really nice area, and we've got some really nice atomic store stuff in here to really add some color to it. It's not just a stove, it's a red stove. It just brings the eye out a little bit, you know? We got some really nice things on the wall as well, like the Vault-Tec clock that came out. I'm a big fan of that. That actually moves and stuff, which I really, really like. But overall, I think the best thing about this museum is the fact that we've got so much variety in our camp build. We actually have max budget on this thing. We can't add anything else because we've got so many display cases and decorations and stuff like that. But overall, I think you guys will like this build. So thank you very much for watching this build video, people. It's been a really cool one, this one, and I hope you guys kind of get inspired to do some building yourself. Go ahead and check out the cool Patreon people in the description below who help the channel with their financial donations. You, of course, can also do the same. And also, don't forget to become a YouTube member. You can become a YouTube member and get early access to videos, discounts in the merch store, and everything fun like that. And remember to tune in to the birthday live stream on Monday. Bye-bye, gang. Bye-bye.